百鬼丸よ、左スティックで移動じゃ。方向キーは使わぬようにな。いいぞ百鬼丸。L1 ボタンを押しながら左スティックで移動してみるのじゃ。体の向きを固定したままでの移動じゃ。敵に背を向けたくない時に使うといいぞ。L1 ボタンを押すと自分の進行方向にカメラを動かすことができるのだ。×ボタンでジャンプじゃ。その調子だ百鬼丸。今度はジャンプ中にもう一度×ボタンを押してみるのじゃ。さすが百鬼丸、華麗な二段ジャンプじゃ。では実戦に入るぞ。四角ボタンは弱攻撃、三角ボタンで強攻撃じゃ。よし、さすがじゃのう百鬼丸。ではとっておきの技を教えよう。三角ボタンを押しっぱなしにしてみなさい。刀に光が集まったら三角ボタンを離すのじゃ。その攻撃を敵にぶつけるのじゃ。画面の指示に合わせてボタンを叩いていくのじゃ。もう一度やってみるのじゃ百鬼丸よ。三角ボタンを押しっぱなしにしてみなさい。刀に光が集まったら三角ボタンを離すのじゃ。その攻撃を敵にぶつけるのじゃ。画面の指示に合わせてボタンを叩いていくのじゃ。敵の体力がゼロになったら三角ボタンでフィニッシュじゃ。さすがは百鬼丸、見事じゃ。さらに腕を磨いてスライス数を増やせばご褒美があるかもしれんぞ。見よ、今までの攻撃で100機ゲージが満タンになったぞ。左上の青いゲージが点滅しておるじゃろう。百鬼丸よ、四角ボタンと三角ボタンを同時に押すのじゃ。百鬼奥義成功。見事じゃ百鬼丸。百鬼奥義は新たな巻物を手に入れることで習得していくことができる。武器の変更じゃ。L2 ボタンを押してみろ。手持ちの太刀に武器が変わったじゃろう。試しにその太刀で攻撃してみるのじゃ。いい太刀筋じゃ。太刀は他にもいろいろな種類がある。見つけたら一度は使ってみるとよいぞ。もう一度 L2 ボタンを押して仕込み刀の状態に戻るのじゃ。では最後にわしが特別に仕込んだ武器の使い方を教えよう。まずは右腕じゃ。仕込み刀の状態で R1 ボタンを押してみろ。すごいじゃろう。上腕下法連射気術じゃ。これは仕込み刀の状態で使うことができる技なのじゃ。敵を一掃したい時に有効なのじゃが、弾数に制限がある。心して使うのじゃぞ。そして右足じゃ。R2 ボタンを押して表示され、そして右足じゃ。表示されたカーソルで狙いを定めて三角ボタンを押すのじゃ。すごいじゃろう百鬼丸。脚部砲術忍びだらいじゃ。強力な武器じゃが砲術用の弾が必要じゃ。ここぞという時に使うのじゃぞ。大切なことを忘れておった。その両の腕に仕込まれた刀。 その刀で妖怪を倒せば倒すほど仕込み刀のレベルは上がっていく。そう仕込み刀は使えば使うほど成長し強くなるのじゃ。百鬼丸よ、お前の旅はここから始まる。心してかかるのじゃ。48の魔人をすべて倒し生きて帰ってくるのじゃぞ、百鬼丸。
妖怪だ。そんなに俺の命が欲しいのか。来るなら来い。お前たちを切り魔人に奪われた48の体必ず取り戻してやる。妖怪め！薄み悪い空だぜ。 化け物の匂いがプンプンしてきやがる。やっと見つけたぞ。人の苦しみや悲しみを糧として生きる。マジ、俺の体返してもらうぜ。なんだこの痛みは。声が出てる。声が出てるぞ。俺は声を取り戻したんだ。うおー
The world was ravaged by unending war. The people cried to the heavens, their hearts full of despair. Unbeknownst to them, the world was at the mercy of a group of vile demons known as fiends. One day, a terrible omen appeared in the sky. When morning came, not one, but two suns rose in the east. However, While one sun shined more brightly than ever, the other gave off a dull, black light, as if it were but a shadow of the real sun. It seemed as though the gods of the heavens could no longer bear to witness the troubled times on earth, and parted ways with the gods of darkness. The gods of darkness, the fiends, looked upon this omen with fear. To them, the appearance of two suns foretold the birth of a human that would have the power to end their dark rule. However, the fiends could not destroy this child of light themselves. They discovered, however, they could corrupt the child's birth parents. The fiends approached Kagemitsu Daigo, a local samurai, and the future father of the child of light, and enticed him with promises of power. One night, in his dreams, Kagemitsu Daigo saw a vision. In this vision, he was told that he would be given the power to bring order to this chaotic world. Daigo, thinking that he had received a vision from the heavens, gathered all his courage and ventured to the temple called the Gates of Hell alone. As Daigo stood there, surrounded by the possessed statues of the 48 fiends, he was told that the price of his power would be his firstborn child. The sudden demand threw Daigo into a panic. Heightened by the echoing laughter of the fiends, his mind began to twist, and Daigo's reason and judgment failed him at last. He signed the contract. A few days later, Daigo's child was born. This was much to the surprise of Daigo himself, as he had expected the fiends would lay claim to his child. Daigo dared to allow himself to feel a moment of joy and relief, but that moment proved to be short-lived. Shadows gathered over the newborn, wrapping themselves around its tiny body. A voice sounded from within the shadows. The body of your son now belongs to the 48 fiends. As promised, you shall be granted the power to bring order to this pitiful world. You shall never know defeat in battle from this day forth. Your path to victory shall be littered with the corpses of those who defy you. 48 parts of the infant's body had been stolen by the fiends. Seeing what happened to his son, Daigo let out a blood-curdling scream in anguish. Suddenly, Daigo sprang into action. He snatched up the infant in his arms, jumped atop his trusty steed Midoro. His wife desperately tried to stop him, but Daigo shrugged her off and made his way toward the river.
Save できるぞ。セーブできるぞ。下がっている。 もう大丈夫だ。妖怪は俺が退治した。お、このでかい義手だよ。お互いきっこなしにしようぜ。どうしてついてくるんだ。
その手にくっついてる刀、かなりの名刀なんだろ。
それほどでもねえが、見たらゾクッとするくらいだから名刀なんだろうな。
そうだと思ったよ。その刀、おいらいただいちゃってもいいかい？
いただく？お前が？冗談じゃねえ。
おいらは天下一の大泥棒ドロロってんだ。一度決めたら大地震が起ころうが戦が起ころうがきっちりといただくのさ。
ふざけるなよ。この刀は俺の手にくっついてるんだ。取ろうったって取れねえよ。
そうはいかねえ。どこまでもついていって必ずいただいてみせる。
バカ！俺についてきたら命がいくつあっても足らねえぞ。さっき見ただろ。俺には資料や妖怪がつきまとってるんだ。
あんなのを怖がってて仕事ができるかってんだ。
とにかく俺につきまとうな。ドロー、大丈夫か？
離せよこの野郎、助けてくれよ。助かったぜ兄貴。おいらも戦うぜ。
仕込み刀がレベルアップした。 見える。左の目が見える。ドロロ、お前がドロロなのか。声は憎たらしかったけど可愛い顔してるじゃないかお前。
兄貴、その目は。
拾ってみろドロロ。
この目は作り物だ。
怖いか。無理もね。俺はな、赤ん坊の時たらいに乗ってどっからともなく流れてきたそうだ。
Having returned from his studies in China, the physician Jukai had been gathering herbs near the river. To his surprise, he came upon a barrel floating by, carrying in it a tiny infant. Perhaps it was his medical training that urged him to save the child, or perhaps it was human instinct, but Jukai did not hesitate but for a second before he rescued the child from the barrel. Yet upon examining the child, he was at a loss for words, for he did not know any medicines that could help this cursed infant. However, as Jukai fed the child, he watched the infant sip at its porridge. He felt its burning desire to live and decided to raise the child as his own. One day, a strange voice buzzed in Jukai's ear. "Feed me, feed me," the voice pleaded. He looked around in search of the source of the voice. The infant was staring straight at him with its empty eyes. "Could it be?" he said aloud. "Were you the one speaking to me?" "Yes," the voice echoed in his mind. Jukai realized that the child could speak directly to his mind. From that day forward, Jukai communicated with the child telepathically and taught him everything he needed to know about living in this cruel world. When the child turned 3, Jukai made a decision. He decided to operate on the child. He would use all his medical knowledge to give the child everything he was missing. Arms, legs, eyes, nose, ears, everything that the child lacked. He began the operation. After many, many hours, a miracle happened. At the end of the surgery, when the anesthetics had worn off, the child opened his eyes. And for the first time, the child had a complete body. And he had a name, Hyakkimaru. Within a month after the surgery, Hyakkimaru began to learn to use his new body. He sat up, moved his legs, and took his first steps. He stumbled many times, but every time he picked himself back up and tried again. The pain was nearly unbearable, and every day he worked himself to the point of nearly collapsing. Soon Hyakkimaru was able to run about as free as any child. When Hyakkimaru turned 6, Jukai had been watching him run and play like any child would. Despite the fact that he could not see, he knew at that moment that with such wondrous gifts, a strange and fantastic destiny would surely be awaiting Hyakkimaru. As Hyakkimaru grew older, strange things began to occur. Demons began to appear all around them, watching their every move. When Hyakkimaru turned 18, he visited a local temple. While praying, a voice spoke to him from the heavens. "The 48 fiends have each taken a part of your body, young Hyakkimaru. You must slay these fiends and retrieve what is rightfully yours. However, the fiends have also created a human out of your body parts. Slay the fiends, or their human creation, and you shall become whole once again. Hyakkimaru, sensing the seriousness of the situation, sat down to speak with Jukai. Hyakkimaru knew that the fiends were after him. He knew it was because of his special powers that the demons wanted him dead. Even though he had artificial limbs and could not see nor hear, he could see things with some sort of innate sixth sense. He knew that the fiends considered him a threat and would do anything to get rid of him. Hyakkimaru decided that he must seek out the fiends and destroy them. To help him accomplish this, Jukai decided to perform one final operation on Hyakkimaru. He fitted Hyakkimaru's body with various powerful weapons. As Hyakkimaru prepared to set off on his quest, Jukai warned Hyakkimaru of the dangers he was sure to face. He explained that fiends lived off of human suffering and grief. He told Hyakkimaru that if he encountered any peoples burdened with inexplicable pain or suffering, chances are he would find a fiend nearby.